asking your woman, will you delete your social media for me? Do me a favor, Habibi, yeah? First of all, we're Muslims, so she should not be posting pictures of herself in a promiscuous manner, preferably in any manner at all, online on social media in the first place. This is the first thing. Let's say she does have a social media account. Maybe she has a big social media account. You're not married to her. She has no allegiance towards you. She has no affinity towards you. She certainly doesn't love you. You're just talking at this point. And then you drop this bombshell on her. Will you delete your social media for me? You know, women use social media, Muslim or not, as a funnel to be able to procure prospects, i.e. translation, men that they would consider marrying. When you are talking to a sister and she likes you, maybe she likes you, but she doesn't love you, she's not quote unquote in your frame, and the first thing you drop on her is, will you delete your social media for me? You've just scared her off.
Now, if I tell a sister or a potential wife, look, I need you to delete your social media permanently, I need you to get off it, and this is a requirement of mine in terms of getting married, then for the most part, I think this the response would be in the negative. The sister would find this unacceptable. In fact, perhaps if there's prior communication between the brother and the sister, and they intending to get married, but this brother now has this request, then I think all hell will break loose. And the typical response would be, oh no, you can't tell me what to do. I'm not following haram. I'm not doing any haram. Social media itself is not haram. Then and I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that, and so on and so forth. Then you know. They feel that this is the leg to stand on in terms of having a social media account. But mainly, I think, if sisters only knew what thoughts or, what men think when they see sisters online or women online, basically. And the imagination can go into overdrive, right? Um, and if the sister has any type of respect for herself, then she would refrain from, posting herself on social media. And even if she is wearing hijab or, even in niqab, it still doesn't help much. Like I say, men have strong imaginations and can do a lot with it. So, if you really respect yourself, then really it shouldn't be, um, an option for you. But you get sisters perhaps that are intending to lure men to intentionally get men to look at them or attract men in general. So, astaghfirullah if that's the case.
Astaghfirullah!
Today the sister tells me, I wish I was married to the Prophet Sallallahu. Sister, please, Karmel Allah, just sit down, inshallah. This is all wishful thinking, Today the sister complains, my husband hasn't taken me out to dinner in 2 weeks. He's Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha. She said, I swear by Allah, we used to see the moon, then the full moon, then the full moon. 60 days would go by and there would be no cooking and no boiling, no flames in any of the 9 houses.
Did you hear that? All 9 houses of the Prophet ﷺ had very little food for months on end. And if you compare that to the modern situation, and perhaps you are living in the West of middle class background, then surely you have far more than the Prophet ﷺ ever had, right? And now these sisters who are claiming that they wish they could marry the Prophet ﷺ, I think is a bit on the delusional side, considering the fact that the wives of the Prophet ﷺ had to deal with a far tougher lifestyle, right? And at the same time, these sisters are requesting mahars of astronomical amounts, and they want lifestyles that can provide them international trips every 6 months and dinner every odd night and shopping at expensive brands and so on and so forth. This is ridiculous. And I think also if a marriage is based on financial status and wealth as a priority, then I think the marriage is headed for the rocks. Whereas, of course, if the marriage is based on Allah first and living within the means, not taking out riba loans, not engaging in unhalal means of income, and just maintaining what you can. And of course, I'm not saying for the brothers to not go out and seek wealth and do well financially. This is not what I'm saying. But of course, living within your means is far better.
It's not ridiculous. That's not ridiculous to say that.
Can you explain the women being covered?
In the Quran, Allah says, tell the believing man to lower his gaze. So the first hijab or veil is placed on the man. Don't feast your eyes on women. And as a man, when a man is looking at a woman, automatically some of the things that perhaps go through his head, not necessarily very respectful. In fact, many of our thoughts, we would struggle to tell our mothers or our our sisters or our daughters or our wives, because that's the nature of man. That's how we're wired. So the first hijab, the first sense of modesty is placed upon the man. And Allah links believing. In other words, if you are a true believer, lower your gaze. Don't gawp, don't stare. Don't feast your eyes and think things that are inappropriate, basically. And tell the believing woman to dress modestly. So there's a responsibility placed upon both.
And so think about it. Social media basically exacerbates this issue where, both men and women have more access to basically looking at each other or even further lasting over each other.
You naughty, naughty.
And on that note, guys, Jazakallah khair for tuning in. My channel is on its way to reaching 1,000 subscribers. So please consider subscribing, like this video, comment if you have anything to say, and keep supporting my channel. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.